You all familiar with Xero Shoes, or in this case specifically the Z-Trek and Z-Trail sandals? I absolutely was not. And the backstory of how I ended up with these is that in a couple months I'm doing a rim-to-rim hike of the Grand Canyon with 2 nights down at Phantom Ranch. I absolutely can't wait. And I realized that you wear your big hiking boots down, and while these are super comfortable, after 14 miles down from the North Rim, you can't wait to get the things off. And so I also realized that whatever I'm going to wear at the bottom, clothes and in this case specifically footwear, I'm going to have to carry on my back. And so I started looking around at all the stuff I had at my house, looked around at a whole bunch of different sandals I had, and I thought, well, there's not a ton of space in your pack, so maybe I don't want to bring some of these things, and also some of these are pretty darn heavy. So I got on Amazon and I started looking around, looked at all these minimalist shoes, minimalist sandals, and I came across the Xero Shoes Z-Trail and Z-Trek. And the nice thing I realized about this in the end was that, so here's my pack, right? Pack is empty. I realized that I could put these in the pack and they take up almost zero space. If you wanted, you could even roll them up. Probably wouldn't because they take up less space flat, but about 11.2 ounces and no space in my pack. And I thought, that's perfect. Let's get them. So Xero Shoes, if you're not familiar with them, originally the owners, Steven Sashin and Lena Phoenix, went on Shark Tank. And you can watch the episode. They went on there with their very first sandals, which are kind of a sort of a do-it-yourself kind of thing. And from there, their business has apparently taken off. And so they now offer shoes and sandals. And the 2 big sandals that they offer are the Z-Trails and the Z-Treks. The Z-Treks, which are the thinner ones, they go for $59.99. They're more about connection with the ground because they have only 5 millimeters of protection. And the Z-Trails, which go for $79.99, they are a little bit thicker and have a little bit beefier sole, and so these are going to be more about protection from the ground. Now these are all definitely minimalist sandals, and I thought I hadn't worn minimalist sandals because I was used to wearing some big beefy things like Chacos or even Tevas, which have nice big beefy sole. Compared, right? Much different. So I was a little fearful about how these were going to be, even just for everyday wear. What about walking on flat ground? And I've been wearing these for a couple weeks now, and I've worn them all over. I've realized that you can wear them for food shopping and for car shopping and for driving. And then more importantly, in this case, what about for hiking? And so I went to the park, I hiked a couple miles in them. And surprisingly, again, they're minimalist sandals. And I would usually wear my big hiking boots for that, but they were surprisingly not bad. They were surprisingly comfortable, even to the point where you could jog in them. I was pleasantly surprised. I just didn't think it was going to be possible. Even walking on some big pointy rocks, you can feel them. You can feel the points coming through a little bit, but not in an uncomfortable way. Now, when you get them size-wise, trying to pick the sizes out, they only come in whole sizes. And you can go to the Xero Shoes website and you can print out these forms. Make sure you do them at 100% on your printer. And in case you're not sure, when you print them out, there's a handy ruler over here, and you can compare that to a known ruler size to make sure that you've got the correct size, so you're going to get the right size shoes. Then you just put your feet on them, and you can see here the Z-Trek is a little bit bigger than the Z-Trail. So note that, note which one you're getting, and then measure your feet accordingly. And then really, if you needed, you could get these, and if they were too big, you could cut some of the tip off. It's pretty easy like that. Now, as far as getting these things on and off, when you put them on, they just have this strap that kind of, well, Z's through here, and then it tightens here. Just tighten it, loosen it, and there's a little keeper here, a little rubber band to keep it there. And then there's Velcro on the back, and you really only have to adjust these once. I wasn't sure how I was going to think because there's no fastener to get them on and off, but once I figured it out now, pretty much I just leave them all together, and I'm able to slip my feet into them and out of them. They don't need to be super tight. I've not touched the adjustment of these since I hiked and ran in them, and they go on and off super easy, and I wear them all over the place. The soles, they have their 5,000 mile guarantee on these. These have 3 different layers. On the bottom is their true rubber. It is tough, it's beefy. And then in the middle, there is their trail foam. And then on the top here, there is the bare foam. And it's spongy. It's nice and comfortable when you wear it. In the heel here, there's a little bit of a heel cup. So note that when you are doing the sizing, there's a little bit of a heel cut back there, so don't put your feet all the way back towards the back. Now, the other big thing, if you're going to be carrying these on your back or anywhere else, is the weight of them compared to some of these other options. Let's do a little weight comparison, starting first with a Chaco. Chacos are nice, they're comfortable, but they are beefy, thick, and heavy. It's one of the things I've never been thrilled with about them. And one Chaco comes in at 15.5 ounces. How about a Teva? I've had these forever. One Teva sandal comes in at 11.3. How about a Birkenstock? About the same as the Teva, 11.3. And then the Z Trail, 5.6, so half the weight. How about 2 Z Trails? So 2 Z Trails equals 1 Teva, 1 Birkenstock, and not even close to 1 Chaco. One other comparison, a Croc. Crocs I always thought were wispy light, and the Croc is even just slightly heavier than the Z Trail. Granted, it's got a little bit more stuff to it, but I would not want to hike in a Croc, and you can hike in this. So there you go, the Xero Shoes Z Trail sandals. Having worn these now for a couple weeks, again, as I mentioned before, and having not had minimalist sandals before, I am shocked and surprised at just how comfortable these are. The only thing I might say is that when your feet get wet, they do become a little bit slippery inside the sandal, but otherwise, dry feet, I've not had any problems with them slipping around. The straps do a great job keeping your feet in. So check out either these or the Z Treks, or Xero Shoes also makes sandals now, and there's a bunch of colors of all of them. I'll throw some links below. You can check them out. So there you go, Xero Shoes. Highly recommend them.